part two. I'll keep this shorter, I promise, or at least I'll try to. Now, the feedback that I did see a lot of people making purchases at both days as well as at Lehigh Valley Comic Con. From the vendor artist feedback that I received, a majority of vendor artists and the featured guests were very happy with it. I talked to a couple of them that were there for the first time, like, yeah, we hope we're invited back. We had a great time. But like any con or event, not everyone's going to do great both days or at the event in general. I did have the one artist that I met at Fan Expo Philadelphia the previous weekend said it was, honestly, he said it was the worst con he's done. I had another one on Sunday. I was like, yeah, how are you doing? She said, not so great today because of you get a lot of people pretty much that are here today spent their money on Saturday. So overall, the feedback was excellent, but I feel bad for the ones that really didn't do too well, because at every event I go to, I really hope the indie creators, vendors, artists, etc. do make a lot of money. But anyway, so that covers the feedback section. Now, one of the main concerns I had, and this is one of the reasons why I went back on Sunday, was when I was walking Saturday and walking around being there the whole day, I did not see a props check or a bag check area. And I did speak with one of the founders on this. I met one of the founders, and I brought this to his attention, in a very professional way, that you have to have it now. What he told me is, now I will say one thing. Speaking with, an artist and a vendor, they said that the security was excellent. I really want to stress this. At no point did myself or I noticed anyone even remotely thinking about their safety at Lehigh Valley Comic Con. The security they had excellent security there, but the security, from what I could tell, was undercover. Like you couldn't tell at all, like, who it was. Excellent job on that. What I would suggest is having a few as a security team, though, either like having shirts on and kind of like making their presence known versus being kind of invisible. It adds a level of, not too many, but it's like, okay, anyone who might want to try something, well, guess what? This is not easy. This is a very hard target. What I was told is when you walked in, there was a gentleman, an older gentleman sitting there, and after one of the founders mentioned this to me, I thought about it, and even thinking about it right now, where he did not miss a single thing at all. I walked in, I had my camera bag, ready to be searched and everything. Not a problem. But again, when you add the visible presence of, because I'm sorry, the world we live in, even with cosplay, okay, someone's doing cosplay with swords, one of those could be real. So, they did an excellent job with security, but in the modern world, you need the visible presence. I'm sorry. You're not going to eliminate every possibility, no matter what event you have, no matter where you are. It just kind of cuts back on it. It kind of cuts back on it, the chances a little bit. Anyway, excellent level of security, zero problems. I didn't even think, not for 1/10 of a second did I even think about, okay, my safety there. Let's wrap this up, shall we? Oh, the cosplay. There was a cosplay contest at the end. It ended at 4 o'clock. That's when the cosplay contest started. There was 2 categories for adults and kids. There were prizes, including an audience. The audience chose the winner. For the first year, there was no stage on that. And I talked to someone who, she said she only does the larger events like Hershey and Fan Expo, and she was very critical of it, which was great. She's like, this is kind of like a mall I'm all fashion show. But for Lehigh Valley Comic Con and the field and the community, keeping it connected to the streets, feel to it, it worked perfectly because the backdrop, instead of it being your standard red carpet, the backdrop was the con, was the teardown of the con. So there wasn't that like disconnect. It was connected to the con. It was connected to everything, the community, the people, the volunteers and staff. I loved it personally. Some people might not, prefer the red carpet. Others don't. Personal opinion and preference. 2027 Lehigh Valley Comic Con. Oh, and I'm cutting this off. Please read the typed version for something I forgot to mention. 2027, if you can get to Lehigh Valley, please make sure that Lehigh Valley Comic Con is on. If you live in Lehigh Valley, even if you're not into comics, please make sure that Lehigh Valley Comic Con is on your top priority list. The admission price this year was $10 to $20. It might go up next year, and I don't blame them. The cost of everything increases. But the 2-day, it was $10 for Sunday, $20 for 2-day pass this year, $50 for VIP. It is so worth your time. This is one of those events where it's like I'm walking around for the first few hours and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get the photo and video yet. And like really start paying attention to doing my job here. I met a lot of great people, just had great conversations. A few people, it's like a couple people I'm like, the artists and vendors, I'm like, oh, I was like, annual reunion? Yep. To your family and friends, please continue to stay safe, and as always, wishing you only the best and much success in your lives. If you are in the United States and this year, please have a wonderful, and most importantly, a very safe 4th of July Independence Day celebration. Michael Phoenix, founder, staff, Fire City Illusion.